come here, man. Veera pointed out a location using his forefinger, showing the floor, and asked that rickshaw-man to come inside the living room to make face-to-face conversation. I said you come here, you rascal, screamed Veera. Cross-checking the hands on his chest, the rickshaw-man came near Veera. Hey! Veera bit his lower lip to show his ferocious face and said in his bass voice, You will be in prison very soon and I'm gonna make it, but why I call you now is to ask you if you are a drunkard. Before Veera had finished it, that man started lamenting. Ayo sir, I'm ready to fall down on your feet for my idiocy of leaving my rickshaw like that. But you have to know what happened. He narrated everything. Geeta! Veera shouted. Normally, Veera had a copper voice. Everyone used to say him that. Anyone could hear from a long distance whatever he was speaking. Every neighbor could understand if any problem was going on in Veera's house through his voice. Even if Veera had mumbled softly, it would be audible to the next house. Geeta appeared out from the kitchen, hanging her head down, full of trembling deep from her stomach. Her face was almost reddish. Who are those boys? She lifted up her face and said, I haven't even seen any of their faces, Appa. Why are they following you? Tell me. Ask to anyone in the rickshaw, Appa, if I have ever spoken to any of those boys. Answer to my question. Did you give signal to them? Geeta started crying and went inside the kitchen and hugged her mommy tightly. Veera took that rickshaman outside the house and said this in his bass voice. Alright, I'm glad about your way of threatening those boys, but you should have been a little careful with the vehicle. Anyways, happened has happened. Every child is safe with nothing bad happened. Leave it. Now listen. Hereafter, Geeta should not sit in the cushion seat. I will also say this to her, but you must keep saying this to her often that Dad ordered it. Ask her to sit in the wooden plank and zip down the screen, alright? Okay, sir. If she disobeys for anything, don't feel bad for slapping her. All authority is given. Rickshaman was stunned. After 2 days, coming from school, Geeta angrily entered the kitchen, threw her bag to a corner and shrieked, Hereafter I am not going in that rickshaw. Let me walk all the way to school. Lakshmi came to her and removed her back buttons of her uniform and said, Are those boys still following you? You told that the past 2 days went well without those boys. Geeta started crying. First of all, stop crying for everything, okay? Lakshmi went in the kitchen, turned off the flame and came out. Amma, did you know what our dad has done? Yeah, you told me that he asked our rickshaw man to make you always sit in the wooden plank. That rickshaw man is now treating me so bad. He says me that all the parts given to him by a father. But that was not my headache. I already know it 2 days back and Dad himself had told it to me to obey that man. Lakshmi was frowningly seeing the eyes of Geeta. Amma, coming close to Lakshmi, Geeta said, In these 2 days the rickshaw man has been behaving like molesting me. Yesterday morning he was slowly groping his body with mine when I was sitting in the wooden plank. First I didn't realize it wrong and thought it a coincidence. But today morning he touched my hip using his elbow. I felt indifferent only that moment, and now while we were coming back to home, he pretended as if he turned casually to see the children. And do you know where he touched me? Lakshmi's breath was very fast. Here, Ma, showing her breast, she exploded into cry a lot. Geeta's face turned so reddish within 5 minutes. She was very embarrassed of the way the incident happened to her. The rickshaw man was more than the age of Veera himself. Her helplessness was taken into advantage by that man, and her dad himself had initiated it. She couldn't tolerate it. The full day, right from the morning, her mind was just wavering in this matter while she was in school. She could never tell this to anyone since she felt very cheap about the conduct of the rickshaw man. Anyways, she shared it to her best friend Radha, who kept silent without knowing what to answer, since it was all started by Geeta's father himself. Adding to the morning groping, the rickshaw man's touching her breast this evening made such a small girl go allergic of the rickshaw ride. Thinking of something, Lakshmi unknit Geeta's plate and asked her to go for face wash. That night, Lakshmi spoke a lot to Geeta. Do you know how all I suffered with this man when I was newly married? With whom, ma, that rickshaw man? Geeta asked it prank. She was lying down on the lap of Lakshmi in the kitchen yard. It was around 7 in the evening. Lakshmi used to spend her time in the kitchen yard most of the time, very particularly in such evening time. This kitchen yard was just a beautiful place in the entire house. Though a lot of flowering plants were there, the single neem tree was enough to attract Lakshmi to spend her time there. She never used to sit on a chair in the kitchen yard but on the floor, which was maintained very clean by her. She, giving a hit on Geeta's head, Lakshmi said, Your dad never ever understands the feelings of women. When we were newly married, every day he used to shout at me for no reasons. I would understand his office tension and adjust according to that. Geeta always loved to hear her mom's past. Every day, Lakshmi would somehow connect the current happenings with her past and would narrate an episode in such dim light evening time. So she continued then. Slowly, I recognized that your dad started suspecting me if I spoke with anyone. He could connect anybody with me, which I felt was very appalling, and thenceforth, I had decided not to come out of this kitchen. The suspicion slowly dropped down, and now he could never suspect me. So the point is, since your father is a very tough man, our way of reciprocation should be very gentle. When Mommy completed her words, Geeta's mind had swung here and there, thinking of many things. But I don't understand one thing, Geetu. Why did he ask you to sit on the wooden plank? I apprehend the authority he gave to that rickshaw man. That is purely Veeraism, but I really don't understand the logic behind this wooden plank decision. What was he thinking? What did he expect? Did he think that you were very insolent in luxury? Murmured Lakshmi with her eyes fixed on the bluish evening sky with stars.